Hello, everybody. How are we doing? How are we doing, people? This is your second lecture in the series Tone of the Author. We have already covered all your positive tones. If you have not watched the lecture, click on the description box or this I button here and do watch it. All right, people, quick revision. Quick revision. What exactly is the tone of the author? It is nothing but the attitude, right? The attitude of your author towards the subject, right? How do we know it, ma'am? How do I guess the tone of the author? How do I know what attitude the author has? Right? Is he my cousin? Is he my friend? How do I know that? Very easy, beta. Very easy. You just look at the language style, right? For example, if I'm speaking in front of you and you want to know my tone, you would look at my facial expression. Similarly, when I want to know the tone of my author in a written piece, I look at the linguistic expression. Yes, my love, I look at the linguistic expressions, right, people? Now, there is a distinction here. Tone is not the topic. Sometimes the author, the examiner, in fact, tries to confuse you, they try to trick you. So, you know these things. Tone is not the topic, it is just the attitude of author towards the topic, right, people? Charlie. Charlie. Now, beta, one thing. If you cannot understand the main idea of your author, if you cannot understand the main idea, I'm really sorry to say, but you will not be able to solve tone questions, right? In order to get the tone correct, we must know the main idea of my author, right, people? Right? Chaliye, I'll give you an example, and it goes both way. If you want to know the tone, you should know the main idea. Now, if you want to if you want to mark the main idea question correct, you should know the tone also, right? Sometimes the main idea, you get confused between two options, ma'am. Both the things are mentioned in the passage. Which one is right? Then you take help of tone. Whichever option matches the tone of your author, you mark that, right? You mark that. Chaliye. For example, let's look at an example. The policy is deeply flawed. Of course, critical. He's negative. The policy shows promise, optimistic, hopeful, optimistic, beta. The policy was introduced in 2020, neutral. Detached, neutral. Just stating the facts as they are. Okay? Charlie. Now, of course, the classic DD method that we've all studied direction plus degree. Direction plus degree. If I want to get a tone question correct, firstly, I see which of the three tones, which is the direction of my author. Is my author going in a positive direction? Is he overall positive about the topic? Is he going in a negative direction? Or is he neutral? He's neutral, he's balanced, he's detached, right? Which direction is my author going in? Thereafter, I look at the degree. Degree is how intensely does he feel about the topic. There are certain tones that differ only in degree. For example, cautionary and alarmist. Now, cautionary is also telling about the probable problems, right? Alarmist is also doing that. The only difference is degree. Alarmist is hyper fixated on the shortcomings or problems, right, or possible risks, while cautionary is kind of pragmatic while doing that. So you need to understand the degree also, beta, right? You need to understand the degree also, right? Is it mild, is it moderate, or is it very strong, right, people? Surely. Surely. Of course, as I said, if you do not know main idea correct, I'm sorry, you cannot do your tone questions correctly. Why is it important, beta? Because the tone depends on the author's stance towards the main idea. If you get the main idea wrong, definitely you're going to get the tone wrong. Sometimes people try to take a shortcut. I told you, you can look at modifiers, your adjectives, your adverbs, right, in order to know the tone. But beta, that can also be deceptive. For example, the author will say something like Mr. Donald Trump. I don't know why every time I teach you an irony question, this man comes to my mind. Let's say I say, or an editor says, Mr. Donald Trump, and leadership, owing to his visionary wisdom and leadership, started. a war with Iran. What is the tone of my author? If you simply look at the modifiers, the adjectives and adverbs, you will say, "Ma'am, it is positive. He is. It is applaudatory." Right, right, people. The author is praising Mr. Trump, but that is not the case. If you look at the overall flow here, what's the main idea? The main idea, the author is ridiculing. He's mocking Donald Trump, right, people? So if you go only by your modifiers, you might end up marking wrong. So main idea is so very important, my dear. Surely today we have already covered all the positive tones. I mean, not all, but I think we did some 15 to 20. Today we're going to do some 15 or so negative tones here, and then in the next lecture we are going to be covering some neutral tones, right, people? Surely, first one, condemnatory. What is condemnatory? When you are condemning, right, people, when you are showing moral disapproval towards something, right, when you are belittling something, when you're looking down upon something, right, looking down upon something, that is condemnatory. That is, then you have derisive. Derisive is when you are bitterly, very openly, you are ridiculing or mocking someone, right, people? After that you have cynical. Cynical is beta when you are distrustful of human motives, right, people? That is cynical. You feel that they are inherently bad, right, people? Skeptical, on the other hand, is when you are doubtful and when you're questioning the claims, right? When you're doubtful and you're questioning. Cynical mostly about people and their intention. Skeptical can be about a plan also, it can be about a policy also, it can be about anything. Thereafter, you have alarmist. As I said, when you are exaggerating the risks or danger or urgency of something, right? That is alarmist. After that, you have outraged. Outrage is when you are this infuriated and intense anger, right? Intense anger when you have, or indignation, that is outrage. Offended, dismissive, when you're again belittling something, dismissing, rejecting, something as not worthy of attention, something as very minuscule or trivial, that is called dismissive beta. After that, you have patronizing, very important. Now if you google this word, the definition itself, you'll google again. Right, this is such a word, patronizing. In simple words, patronizing beta is when you are condescending superiority. Ma'am, what is condescending now? What is condescending? That is a new tone altogether. Dekho beta, whenever you're saying something, when you're saying something in a sarcastic manner to put someone down, you are condemning someone, but in a more how do I say it, in a more with a more superiority complex, right? With more of a superiority complex, you're looking down upon somebody in a very sophisticated manner, right? Let's just put it this way. Surely, after that, I'll give you an example of this one. For example, whenever a newcomer comes to Bollywood, right? You recently saw that award function where Alia Bhatt was hosting, right? So everybody was so patronizing towards newcomers, like Zakir Khan, है ना? They were like, "Oh, Alia did good. You could have done better." That is patronizing. When you condemn somebody from a position of superiority or assuming a position of superiority. Thereafter, you have contemptuous when you are scorning of something, right? When you're insulting something, right? That is contemptuous. Then accusatory, accusing, right? Placing the blame on somebody. That is again very easy. Accusatory. Bitter, of course, is when you're resentful in a sharp tone. That is bitter. Surely. After that, you have caustic. What is caustic? You can remember it like I remember it like we have caustic soda at home that burns everything, right? So that is harsh, biting criticism, right? And it is mostly very smart also, right? Smart criticism, very witty criticism. That is caustic, something that hurts, something that burns. Okay. Then you have vitriolic, when you are extremely bitter, right? When you are extremely bitter and somewhat abusive in your tone, right? Bitter and abusive. Then you have scathing, right? Scathing is when you are criticizing something very intensely, very bitterly, with a lot of force and affirmity. that is scathing. Right? Calling it bad on the face, that is scathing. Acerbic is when beta you again very hurtful, painful, sharp, and uh, cutting criticism. That is acerbic, right? Then you have denunciatory. Denunciatory when you are publicly condemning something, you're denunciating something. That is, of course, this particular tone of yours. Chaliye bache. Thereafter, let's look at the minute difference. As I said, some tones are very similar. They differ in probably one or two pointers. Otherwise, they are the same, right? And CLAT sometimes, though not always, generally tone questions aren't that difficult. Sometimes, if the examiner wants to, they can ask you these closed tones and people get confused. Ma'am, both are same. Which one do I mark? Let's see here. Let's see here quickly. देखो condemnatory versus critical. देखो बेटा condemnatory is some sort of a moral attack, right? Your intention here is to insult, right? Is to let's say condemn you morally. Critical, however, is when you're logically and when you're logically or practically telling me the flaws and shortcomings. That is critical, right, bache? Then you have skeptical versus cynical. A daily basis I get so many DMs, so many comments, ma'am, this is very and even when I was a kid, let me be fair to you, even I would always be confused between these two. Ma'am, what is the difference between skeptical and cynical? As I said earlier also, because skeptical is doubtful but open minded. Okay, you're just doubting. You may doubt a policy, you can doubt a plan that has been brought up to you. You can doubt anything. You're just doubtful here, right? Cynical, on the other hand, where you have assumed that people have hidden motives, right? This is that one guy in your friend circle that says, oh, all women are like that only. Yeah, she's gonna leave you. Huh? That sort of person, right? Chaliye. Then you have sarcastic versus derisive. Let me put one more here. Satirical. Okay? Satire, sarcasm, and one is derisive. What is the difference between these three? The beta, sarcastic is when you are mocking something indirectly, right? Indirectly. For example, I say CLAT 2025 logical section was very predictable. It was absolutely in line with the syllabus provided. It was a very good paper. What am I doing here? I'm being sarcastic because the paper was very unpredictable and it was not particularly in line with the syllabus that was provided by CLAT consortium. This is sarcasm. Then comes derisive. That is derisive, you're directly ridiculing. For example, if I say something like CLAT 2025 logical section was absolutely unfathomable, it was unpredictable, and it goes against the syllabus that was provided by the official website of CLAT consortium. Right, people? Now, I won't be too derisive here because that's not a safe ground to play in. But I think you got my point. Thereafter, you have satirical. What is satirical, beta? Now, the example that I gave you, it is sarcasm for sure. Satire does have a tinge of a hint of sarcasm in it. But when this sarcasm challenges authority, right? Challenges authority, right? Or brings out a social issue, right? Social issue. For example, I was watching this recent video by Samir Raina in which he says, George Orwell said every joke is a tiny revolution. But had he been born in India, he would have said every revolution is a tiny joke. Right, people? So, this is what? This is satire. Right, people? This is satire. When you're challenging the authority, when you're bringing out a social issue, when you are ridiculing or mocking somebody in the higher position, when you can't directly question them, you're questioning them through jokes or irony or sarcasm. That is called satire, beta. That is called satire. Then, of course, dismissive versus critical. This is easy. Dismissive, you are rejecting. Critical, you are evaluating and saying, okay, this is the problem here. Then, patronizing versus contemptuous. Again, ma'am, both are same. No, both are same. What is the difference? Dekho, beta. When you're patronizing, you're condescending, but you are controlled. You're wearing this facade of sophistication, right? Right? Okay. If you have seen Sarabhai versus Sarabhai, this is your Maya Sarabhai. She's the epitome of patronizing. She's the epitome of patronizing. Whenever she insults somebody, she does it with a facade of praising, or maybe just making a normal comment, and the other person gets insulted and offended also. That is patronizing. Contemptuous is when you're directly insulting them, right, people? When you're directly insulting them, that is contemptuous, my love. Surely. Now, what is the golden rule? We have learned some new tones today, negative ones. I hope you liked it. Final advice, final tip, golden rule to do your tone question correct, beta. The questions are generally moderate. CLAD does not ask you difficult question here, right? But just keep these three things in mind. Avoid overly strong words unless they are clearly supported, right? We also said any question you're doing, extreme words are very unlikely to be the right answer. I wouldn't say it will never be the case. It can be less than 10% of the time. Right, everybody? Less than 10% of the time. Thereafter, eliminate option with the wrong direction first. If it's in the wrong direction, eliminate it. Right, people? Positive, negative, neutral, direction based first eliminate. Then if you have two or three tones in same direction, then I'm going to think further and look at the intensity. Right, people? Or degree, because of course it's the DD method. Alright, people, then of course match the tone with intent plus language, beta. Main idea. The correct tone is one that captures main idea, intent, and language of your author. These three things. Okay, beta. Your idea, intent, and expressions. What expression? Linguistic expression, my love. All right, whichever tone matches these three things, that is your right tone. That is your right tone. All right, people, Charlie. Enough for today. Now I'm going to see you in the next lecture. We'll do neutral tones over there. Right, people? We'll be doing neutral tones there. And see you all. If you haven't already, please watch the lecture on positive tones. I have added it in the description of this video. See you all. Bye bye.